All right, the time you've all been waiting for. We are all set up to run Sprawl Any Percent being run by Waff1e. Take it away.
Hello everyone, I'm Waff1e, and today I'll be running SPRAWL. It is a first-person shooter in a cyberpunk setting. It has a lot of movement and gunplay, and today I also have another runner on comms with me.
Hello, I'm Scuff, and I used to run this game.
Yeah, and without further ado, I think we can actually start our run. The run will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So I'll be running any percent category. That means that all I need to do is finish the game without additional restrictions. There are 12 levels in this game, 5 levels in the first episode, 4 levels in the second episode, and 3 levels in the third episode.
Alright, so starting out here, there's a lot of movement stuff that we're going to go over, and the first thing that Waffle's going to do is basically just climb to the top of the map. So every time you jump, you get 3 wall jumps, so he's just going to use these wall jumps against these walls to climb up to a pretty high point, and then he'll be able to make his way over to the next area of the map. He also has a wall run, so as you can see, he was moving pretty quickly on the wall, and you sort of arc upwards in your wall run. Which makes this, you can do some pretty interesting things later on. And then as you can see as well, he's doing a slide, which is if you slide and then immediately jump after you get a small speed boost, and then sliding also decreases your friction by a lot, so you can do some more interesting movement mechanics later on.
Yeah, as you can see, I finished the level without killing any enemies and without picking any guns, but that doesn't mean that I will start the next level empty-handed. You see, arsenal and ammunition do not transfer between levels. That means when I start the next level, I will get all the weapons that I was supposed to get on this level. Because those values are actually predetermined.
So you'll get the, starting the next level, you'll get the dual SMGs and the pistols from this level,
Yeah.
even though you skipped picking them up.
Yeah, that's how we get most of our weapons. In this game we only pick up 2 weapons directly, and one of them will be on the next level.
Because you need to. Alright, so this is the second level, and at the start, as you can see, he's got the SMGs and the pistols. And these aren't super useful, there's no movement applications with them, but he's going to be hitting into this, like, warehouse area. And this is where we get to explain a mechanic that's only used once in the run, but it's pretty interesting. It's adrenaline, which is sort of like a, I don't know, FPS mechanic that's supposed to make you feel really cool. And you can basically just slow down the game. But what we use it for is to just make hitting this switch right here a little easier, like that, because sometimes you could miss that thing and it has a really funny hitbox.
Yeah, so the second level is the only level in the game that is completely in bounds. All we need to do is just pass enemies, because it is not necessary to kill them in this area. We only need to press a lot of switches. Those switches have terrible hitboxes. And we're pretty much now moving to another area where we will press even more switches. So this is one. This is two. Oh. The first mandatory fight is coming up. There are 8 enemies in this little room. We need to kill them in order to get a shotgun, and the shotgun is probably the most important thing in the entire run. Why, you may ask? Because it can do this. You see, the shotgun in this game has very strong recoil, and you can actually combine it with different movement mechanics, like jump, for example, or even slide. And moreover, you can actually combine slide and jump at the same time and get as a result. We use it through the entire run because it is very helpful to have something like slide with low friction that keeps our momentum for a very long time.
Alright, so we're on to level 3 now, and this is a good introduction to how the shotgun's used because you can see he's swapping off of the shotgun, which allows him to shoot a lot faster, so that's basically all it does is skip the reload animation, so you can just spam it. And then as well, there you saw a crazy wall climb, which is what happens when you combine the normal like wall climb sort of arc of it going upward in accordance to your speed with the insane speed that you get from shotgunning and sliding. And basically just like that, if the map's got an open ceiling, you can basically skip the whole thing. That level's normally incredibly long, and then you can get done in like less than 30 seconds. And then this one is a pretty similar story. There's a lot to do here, and then just with some nice wall rides, nice switches, you can make it to near the end of the map pretty much instantly. And they're also, in these levels, they're pretty straightforward. They don't have a lot of like required objectives. You just have to kind of make it through a sort of open world area. But at this point, he's just waiting for like this lever. Like as soon as you hit it, the level's on a timer. It'll end. So you can mess around here. You can troll the enemies, and then we're heading into mission 5, or level 5, which is canals.
Yeah, so Canals is the last level of the first episode, and it is pretty interesting level because first half of the canals is completely in bounds, so we need to actually deal with all those walls and enemies. But as soon as we get to the second half, which is an open air section, we can pretty much skip the rest of the level. So, game introduces us to the new enemy, and we can pretty much kill it with 2 shotgun shots, because our shotgun on this difficulty is quite OP. So this is the second part of the level, and we immediately go out of bounds. So this out of bounds section skips a huge chunk of this level, and it also skips the first boss fight of this game. That is actually on this arena over there. That's the first episode. Okay, the second episode is coming up, and it starts with a 1 minute long cutscene, and we have absolutely nothing to do during it. So if we have anything to read.
I sure do. Well, once again, you are all watching No Holidays Allowed 2024, raising money in support of the Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. What haven't I talked about recently? Well, we're a little bit past the break there, but they do have a bunch of success stories on their website at gorescuedogs.com, and you can read a bunch of heartwarming tales about pups that they've rescued and a bunch of adorable pictures. So after the run, during the break, go check that out. A bunch of other information is available about the charity on their website if me telling you about it isn't enough.
Thank you. So the second episode of the game is pretty scary. It's probably the hardest part of the run. So pretty much important skip.
And if he misses a skip, he has to watch the whole cutscene again.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
But yeah.
That's the point of this episode. SPRAWL doesn't have a save load system. It fully relies on checkpoints, and those checkpoints can be quite far away. And if you mess up, you lose a lot of time.
Alright, so we're heading into episode 2, mission 2. And this is one of the, I don't know, weirder missions of the game, because this mission used to be like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, and now it's just a minute long. It's gone under a lot of changes, you know, one of the most recent ones being you can go over that door. We just didn't know that for a while. And then this is also one of the only out of bounds, I believe it's the only out of bounds in the game that's not actually just from the skybox being open. There's actually just a hole in this wall right here that you can go through, which is crazy. And with SPRAWL, you know, as soon as you get out of bounds, it's basically just over. So it was only a matter of time before it was found out how to get straight to the end. And then another important thing that we haven't actually mentioned yet about this run is that it's you have quite limited ammo for your shotgun. So throughout the run, he's been picking up ammo just to sort of prepare for each section of the run, and generally doesn't have that much more ammo than what he needs. And that's the end of mission 2, quickly enough. And the mission 3 is the biggest example of what the ammo route looks like, because you need like the exact amount of ammo that you have. And there's a few different ways to do it, and there's a few ways to do it with extra ammo, but Waff1e is just like the biggest baller that I know, so he just kind of sends it with like the scariest strat I've ever seen. But what you're doing here is you're climbing up a pipe using this sort of FPS trick where you open your weapon wheel and it will like refresh your wall jumps, so you can just climb up the pipe. And then we'll fling ourselves over here, and this skips like 2 arenas and this giant cutscene sort of thing where you're like on a railway thing. But this whole thing, if you mess it up, any point of it, I think pretty much any time in this level, if you mess up, then you're gonna have to restart the whole thing. Just like that. I don't even know what went wrong, honestly.
It didn't give me the jump. Just randomly.
Oh, right, okay.
Got hit by a texture.
Unlucky. And this is like even more proof that, you know, if the level has an open skybox, it's kind of just over. Because even though you spawn at the bottom of a gigantic pit, we still found our way to get out. And you know, as hard as I tried, this seemed like the best way that we could have done it. Even though this strat is pretty terrifying, it's quite the run killer. But you know, we can't be spending our time in those arenas. Alright, should be safe now.
No.
Nice. And I need to get some ammo so we can finish the rest of the skip. Big wall ride, and then the finish is just over here somewhere. Right there. Alright, so into the last mission, and this is the first boss fight that we actually have to do. It's kind of sick, but there's a lot of movement beforehand, so we can sort of talk about it because there's not that much going on. The boss, you know, we're gonna have a few more weapons than we did before, and you're not gonna know about them because we haven't actually used them yet. But we have a grenade launcher and we have a chain gun. So the chain gun is like a machine gun, but it just does an insane amount of damage, and then the grenade launcher is it does like arcing grenades, and they do quite a lot of damage as well. And then we're also going to get like a turbo rocket launcher here, like a really big rocket launcher, which we also use on the boss in various different ways. He has a few different phases and also some RNG involved. Well, I don't know if the dev said it wasn't RNG, but we didn't say how, and it seems like RNG to us, so I guess that's the cope for now. So we're in the open section now, and as you know by now, that means that we're gonna go to bounds. So Waff1e is gonna skip the second half of the mission and go straight to the boss. And then we're going to be introduced to another mechanic with the railgun, which I also haven't talked about. Ooh, big skip. And then, so what the railgun is he's gonna pull it out right after he does the shotgun. And what it does, it has a bug where if you hold it for a long time before shooting it, then it has like multiple charges, so he's gonna shoot really quickly here. and you cannot normally shoot this fast, like not even close to this fast. But because he was holding the railgun out for a while before actually shooting it, it allows him to do that, which I'm pretty sure the dev knows about, and he just thought it was chill. So as soon as all of these nodes are gone off of the boss, he can just kind of spam it with all the explosives he's got, and then we're ready to move on to episode 3, the last episode of the game.
Well, I have to say that this has just been an amazing showcase of movement in an FPS. I am impressed.
Waffle's doing great.
Yeah, so third level, third episode of the game is quite chill except for the last level. And this level is the longest level in the game. It has a lot of gunplay actually, comparing to the last levels. So yeah, take it away from me.
Alright, so it's got a lot of this is like the most combat heavy level in the game, and it's got some of the most interesting routing. So he's got to kill all the enemies in this room, and this room has one of the more funny strats of the game, is that he's going to go into the center of the room, and there's these 2 mechs on either sides of him, that since he's standing in between them, they just start shooting at him, but like the rockets they're shooting just hit the walls, so they just like kill themselves, which is unlucky. And then Waffle's just gonna have to head through and get some switches, and none of these rooms have required enemies, but they just have some really cool movements, so we get to enjoy that. And basically anytime you see him kill an enemy, you can pretty much guarantee that it's something that needs to die, or else it's not gonna open a door. Either that or just a little bit of ammo, because the shotgun guys drop some ammo. And then the next area has actually another really interesting skip, which is that right here he's going to do sort of a lineup at this door on this line, and then he's going to spam shotguns backwards. And what he's doing is he's entering a arena that you sort of need to do, but like he just got past it, and he's already past it, that big red wall, because he actually got through the wall before it could like close, and you can barely get through it, but like it's pretty consistent of a skip to hit. It's because, you know, it's not that hard to like swap the shotgun fast enough to do it. And then now he's heading into the final arena of the map, which is just a bunch of waves of enemies, large waves of enemies, and he's going to be using basically all of the stuff we've talked about beforehand to get through this arena. He's charging up the rails right now, so you can spam him, and then each section he's going to be using tons of basically every different weapon to deal with the enemies in different ways. As you know, he's going to be able to blow up these enemies basically instantly with his rocket launcher and his shotgun. You got a little close there on the health, and then right here you can just pull out the chain gun and start slapping them down. And that's like the first big wave. Then we've got a little smaller wave kind of coming up here with these like invisible dudes, which he can just round them all up and then shotgun into the air and rocket them. And then after these dudes, he's got a big wave, and in the big wave there's like these big mechs that spawn, but we found out that you actually don't need to like kill the mechs. You can kind of just kill the smaller guys, and they count for the same amount, and then like once you kill a certain amount of them, you'll be able to open the end, so you're actually able to finish the mission now, and he's invulnerable. So he can just chill on this thing while the mission ends.
So hopefully a quick question. How many of these movement mechanics are semi-intended?
I believe the shotgun
jump is intended.
The shotgun jump was intended, but the shotgun slide wasn't, like, the speed of it wasn't intended. But then Revel, who's the dev of this game and also a really talented musician, he saw it and he was like, wow, that's kind of the coolest thing ever. And then I'm pretty sure he buffed it after seeing that. So it was like, I don't know. I mean, you kind of, when you're an indie dev, you kind of got to take opportunities like that to make really cool movement mechanics, because it turns into, you know, one of the coolest speedrun games you can have.
Yeah, that's why we actually run on the recent patch of the game and not the old one. We also have more wall jumps than on the old patch. And while we're speaking, I almost finished second level of the third episode. Just one out of bounds section and this awkward section where I skip the moving platform, but it moves very slowly, so I kinda use those ledges to move around. And now we are on our way to the final of the game.
The Spire. Okay, so the Spire is somewhat easy but also hard level at the same time because it's you know, it doesn't have that much substance to it, but it's got these like really janky wall rides that can sometimes just boot you off, and sometimes you just don't get enough speed, and you also have quite limited ammo to do them all. So, you know, if you're in the flow of things, which it seems like Waff1e is right now, you're gonna make it through this pretty easily. But he's making his way up to the out of bounds as usual, so that he can fight the boss from out of bounds because the arena just wasn't cool enough for him, I guess. Oh, that's unlucky. So we're gonna have to go down and get some more ammo for the shotgun.
Yeah. But that's okay, I kinda expected that.
Yeah. Something we actually didn't explain about the shotgun thing is that it's pretty precise, like to the point where most players bind their left click and right click to left click being shoot and right click being slide, because you need to do them like really close to each other. You need to do the inputs incredibly close to each other. So to do this trick, you need to basically perfectly time it. But it seems like you got it there.
Yeah, so this is the last boss of the game. Since we did not enter the final arena, it just floats there very awkwardly, but it's still aggressive to us, so we need to dodge his bullets. And time will actually coming up soon. As soon as I destroy his eye and the final cutscene starts playing. Okay, so time in 3, 2, 1, now.
Nice.
And that was SPRAWL. Also, I need to show my difficulty settings, so this run is fully legit.
Good game.
Ooh, gee,
Yeah.
that was amazing. Where can the people find you? What are your shoutouts?
So I was to begin with, I want to thank a lot of people. I want to thank viewers who watched this run. I hope you liked it. If you like movement shooters, consider running this game. It has a very good guide for beginners by Scuff. His guide was one of the reasons why I started running this game. I also want to thank Scuff for providing me a commentary, because English is not my first language, and it was very helpful to have someone who can actually speak during the run. You can find me on my speedrun.com page, speedrun.com/waffle. I have different indie games. I also occasionally stream them on my Twitch channel, flying_waffle. And do you want to say anything, Kav?
No, I'm chilling. I appreciate you for inviting me onto the run, and I also appreciate the devs for making a cool game and tolerating us completely destroying it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, both of you. That was a lot of fun to watch, and hopefully it was of interest to all the people out there. We're going to get set up for our next run here, and I'll let these two go. So take it away to the break screen,